Today we are talking baby registry regrets. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jordan. I'm a first-time mom to a 9-month-old, and I'm currently pregnant again with my second. I was going through my registry with my first while I'm kind of making the list for what we need for our second. And I was realizing some of the items on there we either still have and do not like, or we ended up getting rid of just because we don't use them. So I'm gonna go through all the things that were on my first registry that I regret putting on there, and then there's also like a short list at the end of items that I did not have or I did not have enough of. First item that I regret, this is probably the item that prompted this video because I despise it, not only the product, but whoever made the product. There's no way that a mother or a parent could have designed this product because it is, in my opinion, so bad, and it was actually very highly rated on Baby List, which is what I registered through. It is the Graco Slim Snacker High Chair. I do not like this high chair at all, mainly because it comes with fabric cushion, which I assumed would be more comfortable than like the Trip Trap high chair that's all just like solid material, but it doesn't come off. You cannot wash it. The instructions say to just like wipe it clean with a damp cloth. The messiest thing I could probably imagine. So the fact that I can't take that off and wash it, we ended up actually cutting it off to wash it, and then we just ended up, it just keeps getting so dirty that I just took the cover completely off and he just sits on the plastic part. So I wish I would have gotten a different high chair. The footprint is also kind of big, but I don't have anything else, like I don't have another high chair to compare it to, so that might be standard, but the fact that you cannot take the cover off to wash it kills me. So definitely regret that high chair. Next on my list is our walker, which we ended up not even opening it out of the box. Our house is kind of small and it doesn't have a super open floor plan, so I don't really know what I was thinking registering for a walker. We ended up getting one of those just like stationary activity centers, and I love that so much more. We can still put him in it, he can play, he's upright. We also have dogs, and I didn't really want him like being mobile around the house, like running over the dogs. So I wish I would have registered for the activity center instead of the walker. So yeah, the walker we've never used. Next on my list is the Bumbo Seat. I think when I went on Baby List, I was just like going through must-haves and whatever. We never used it for two reasons. One, my son, by the time he was like 3 months old or however old you had to be to use it, he was a very chunky baby. He was almost 10 pounds when he was born. So by the time he was able to sit in the Bumbo Seat, his thighs were so big, they did not fit. And I did some research, like when I was trying to look up about the seat to see is he even in it properly. There was a lot of articles that came up about like how it's not super beneficial for their spine or their low back or their hip health. So I'm kind of happy that we didn't end up being able to use it, but that was another thing on our registry that we got and never used. And they're kind of expensive. I think they're like $50. So we could have put that money towards something else. Next is the Magic Merlin's sleep sack. We live in Florida and my son was born in the summertime, so the Magic Merlin sleep sack just seemed so hot. And by the time it was cooler, he was way too big for the one we had. We ended up using just like the arms up swaddle. And then once he transitioned out of that, we went to the Kite Baby sleep sacks, and I love them. Next on my list, and this kind of breaks my heart because this was like my favorite item on my registry. I actually had my eye on this before I even knew I was pregnant. And the second I found out I was pregnant, added it to my registry immediately, and that is the LuLuLemon diaper bag. I still have it and I still use it, but I think when we have our second, I have my eye on the Maiden diaper bag. So the LuLuLemon diaper bag, it works fine for now. I just wish I kind of would have done a little more research on diaper bags before I pulled the trigger and put that one on my registry. The thing I don't like about it most is it opens only from the top, and there's quite a few pockets on the inside, but I feel like because it just has a top opening, it's just like a black hole. I find myself in the main pocket where there's like toys and bottles and formula, digging through to find what I'm needing. And I've seen that the Maiden, the whole entire bag kind of opens itself up. And I feel like that would be much more beneficial, especially because we're about to have two babies, both in diapers, and they're both gonna need extra outfits and different size diapers. I have my eye on a new diaper bag when baby number 2 comes, but we are still using the LuLuLemon bag for now. It's just not my favorite. Everything else on my list are just smaller things that we didn't end up using and definitely did not need. So first is our wipe warmer. We just never really used it. We didn't have a well-placed outlet behind our changing table, so we do not use the wipe warmer, and we've never had any issues. He's fine with diaper changes, and when we're out, we don't have a wipe warmer in our diaper bag, so it's like he's using cold wipes anyways. So wipe warmer we never use. Next is the 4 ounce or 5 ounce bottles. So we ended up with the Tomo, so I think the smaller version is actually a 5 ounce bottle, but I wish I would have just skipped that bottle size completely and gone straight to the 8 ounce bottles and got the smaller nipple size to go on those, because it just seems kind of wasteful. Around like 6 months, 5 or 6 months is when we needed the bigger size bottles, and they're kind of expensive. So a 2-pack is like $23 or $24, and we could have just bought the 8 ounce bottles and then got like the nipples, which are $2, until he transitioned to the larger size nipple. I feel like it's a waste of space and a waste of money when we could have just purchased the bigger bottle. So I would recommend, if you're thinking about buying bottles, just going straight for the bigger size, because you're gonna need them anyways, and I feel like you use those for a longer period of time. Next is a car mirror. So the little mirror that goes on the back of the seat so you can see your baby in the rear facing car seat. We ended up getting them, but we actually had someone at our shower get us the car camera, and I love it so much more. I used the mirror for a couple days just because I didn't have the camera installed yet. It's very hard to see them. It's kind of small because you're looking at them through your rear view mirror and then into that mirror. You can't really see much detail, and if it's dark out, you can't see them at all. The camera that we got has like a night vision, so if we're like in a dark parking garage or it's dark outside, it goes into the night vision mode and you can see them perfectly clear. You can see them much closer, and you can actually see details. So I would recommend, instead of the car mirror, getting a car camera. I think they're like $20 for the camera on Amazon, so they're not even that much more expensive, and they're so much better in my opinion than a car mirror. Last thing on my list of things I registered for and regret is the Frida Baby Grow With Me bathtub. This is not my regrets per se, but it's more so my son hated it. Like from day one, he hated it. He seemed so uncomfortable in it. He hated bath time, and then we ended up just going to Target and getting like the $20 bath seat. Loves it so much more. So the Frida Baby tub is like $60 or $70, I think. And we really only used it for a couple of weeks before I was like, okay, he hates this. Let's try to find something that makes him look more comfortable. And it was so much cheaper. I'm like, why did we not just get this in the first place? And I always think like, oh, well, it's more expensive, so it must be nicer. Not always the case. So that is everything on my list of things we got that I regret having on my registry, or just that we don't use. Next is just a few things that we either had on our registry and did not have enough of, or we never had on our registry and I wish we would have had it. The first is Burp Cloths. I registered for one single 3-pack of Burp Cloths, and we needed so many more than that. My son had reflux, so he was spitting up so much all the time, and we ran out of Burp Cloths in like the first hour of the day. So we ended up having to buy a bigger pack on Amazon, and I wish that we would have registered for just more Burp Cloths so we didn't have to buy them later on. And the last thing on our list that I kind of wish we would have had on our registry that we didn't is a portable crib camera or nanny camera. We ended up going with the Nanit, which we really like, but it attaches to the wall and it goes off of Wi-Fi. So even if you don't have the wall mount attachment and you just have it like on the stand that you can take different places, we ended up going to a hotel on vacation and brought it with us, but because they don't have a standard Wi-Fi name and password, it's just like enter your last name in your hotel room, we couldn't connect our camera to the Wi-Fi. I wish we had a portable nanny camera that we could take if we're going to someone else's house. So my parents' house, if we're just going over there for a few hours and he needs to take a nap, we don't really have a way to watch him on a camera. It would also be nice to have a portable camera that we can take around the house. If he's in his pack and play and I'm in the kitchen doing something else, I can just like set up the portable nanny cam and still watch him when he's not in his crib, because the Nanit is mounted to his wall and it literally only views his crib and his bedroom. I wish I would have gotten just like a cheap portable camera, and it would be nice for when we have babysitters come over that they could also use that, because we have to give them the login information for our Nanit so that they can access the camera. That is everything on my list of registry regrets. Let me know in the comments below things that you feel like you got that you didn't necessarily need, or let me know if you have items that you love on your registry, what are they?